Focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, before we start our session, I will give some guidelines. So, in the beginning, remember we're going to develop our mind with two mental cultures, in two different ways. One is tranquility meditation, other one is vipassana meditation. So for these both, we use our inhalation, exhalation as primary mental object. So how we use this inhalation, exhalation to tranquilize our mind. So in the beginning, you focus your mind in front of your nose and your upper lip area. So in this area, and when the inhalation, exhalation happens, and try to recognize the sensation. And remember not to interfere with the inhalation, exhalation, and don't try to hold it or don't try to maintain it like exercise. Just allow it to happen naturally itself. And just observe yourself. And don't try to make any comments and don't try to have an inner conversation yourself regarding the practice. So when the inhalation happens, recognize this is inhalation. When the exhalation happens, recognize this as exhalation. So if your mind go here and there, you can bring it back again and again. And sometimes if your mind become busy mentally, try to relax your body, relax your breathing, and relax your thoughts. And that way it will help you to settle down. So when you start to follow the sensation in the beginning, the very first level, you recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. In the second step, follow the entire continuation of the inhalation and exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. So remember, don't try to make it happen. Just allow it to happen, and when it happens, just recognize. In the third step, some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just recognize yourself. Don't try to reject whatever the inhalation, exhalation, just accept as it is. So this way, little by little, your mind will settle down. Your mind will settle down with the breathing and with the body. So when the breathing and the body and the mind, so these three things work as one when it comes to tranquility state. No any separation, no any disturbances. And that is where you start to recognize the sensation happening with the inhalation, exhalation very clearly. So that is what important. So from there, so again and again, allow that your body to calm down, relax, and stay with that sensation. So then, observe the very nature of the feelings. So now we go to the Vipassana level of practice. So in the Vipassana level, we don't get the inhalation, exhalation by details. Like this is inhalation, this is exhalation, this is long, this is short. So like that, we don't go to that. So whatever inhalation or exhalation happens, just observe the feelings and sensation. Stay with it and recognize the very change of the inhalation, exhalation, the sensation of the inhalation and exhalation, and follow that change. And when the inhalation happens, you feel different way. When exhalation happens, you feel different way. Just feeling doesn't enough in this level. What you have to see the difference in between the feelings. When the inhalation happens, what kind of feelings arise? And it completely change when the exhalations happens. And what kind of feelings arise with the exhalation? It completely change when the inhalation happens. So this moment by moment, in that change, there is a beginning, and there is you feel kind of existing and disappearing. Actually, it's not disappearing. So what is happening? It starts to transform to something. It becomes something else. As example, when the inhalation happens, so inhalation not going to disappear. What is happening? The inhalation start to transform to exhalation. So it changed to something. So deeper level, this is what happening within us. So some in the conventionally we say arising, existing, and disappearance. Then that disappearance means sometimes that you may think it disappear, it's end. If it is end, what else? If your thought arise, exist, and disappear, then there is no thought. But there is not disappearance. There is a deeper interconnection with the arising, existing, and the disappearance means in that moment experience disappear to something. So you recognize this when you go deeper, little by little, little by little. But in the surface level, just try to follow the sensation and see the sensation. And when you see the sensation in the beginning, very natural thing is you feel kind of like you observing from far away, or you are separate, the sensation separate. But little by little, when you practice, remember, there is no separation in between the observer and the feeling. So little by little, try to fill the gap, and don't develop the gap, don't increase the gap. Little by little, try to observe very closely rather than observing far away. Observe closely, little by little. And in a certain level, you feel there is no gap in between the experiencer and the sensation. So what you experience itself is experiencer. So that change, getting that change is the important thing. If I go to the middle of the explanation again, so when something happens, if you become very careful to get that, you have to have very sharp and clear mind. That's why in the tranquility state, we go into that. So in the beginning, we cannot do, but little by little, when you practice yourself, you can see this. And even you no need to follow because what I say. So when you start to practice yourself, even you have to be free from this, all the guidelines. Just stay calm, relax with the very fresh and clear mind. You have to get into the Vipassana. In the tranquility state of the that meditation, you can follow the guidelines like inhalation, exhalation. You can follow the order. in the beginning. But when you come to the Vipassana level, remember completely to be free yourself. And then observe when something arises and it exists, that existence itself is transformation. It's changing. That is what you, maybe you cannot see the change. It is so sharp. That's why you see it's kind of like a existing. So as example, it's like a bulb. So in the middle, that filament, it's always and breaking and connecting, breaking and connecting. But we don't see, we just see the light. And when the fan moves so fast, we don't see part by part. So like that, this happening so fast. So that's why we cannot get that point. So in the Vipassana level, little by little, little by little. So it is not, another thing is in the Vipassana level, remember, it is not, don't have an idea, so I do this. Or I am the one who practicing. I want to get this. I want to achieve to this. So don't get into that kind of mindset and completely be neutral yourself, but only develop the sharpness and clarity to observe. And don't try to develop any desire to become. So you completely become neutral, but you bring your maximum effort to observe and recognize. Observing and recognizing is the only thing, there is nothing else. So remember that. So with that, and when you see that the change, how it transformed to something, and in between that, observe that, see how the change, as example, inhalation happens, and then that inhalation transform to exhalation. That exhalation invite to the inhalation. So there is a deeper connection in between. So when you slow down and you're going to see how this interconnected, as you know, there is a word called dependent origination, dependent origination. So that is what one, it's kind of like this. It is not separate. It's a one by one, interconnected. This is the journey that we go with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. This interconnection, this depending and arising, depending and arising. So with the one sensation, we try to get it. And once you able to locate your awareness and get that experience, and you naturally yourself, you able to understand other everything. So but when it come to practice, it is completely different than what we explain. So but it is yourself, and just give a try a little bit and we'll see how you're going to experience it. Only thing is, with the clear mind, just give some times and practice yourself. Okay, so keep relax your body and your neck, head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And your right palm on your left, and neck, head straight in one line. So scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say, Suapateva, or may I be well and happy. 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also, think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. Detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. Now bring your attention to the sensation and allow your inhalation, exhalation to happen itself naturally. When the inhalation happens, recognize this is inhalation. When the exhalation happens, recognize this is exhalation. Be very limited to your mental object. If your mind go here and there, bring it back again and again. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. Just get into that details. So if it is possible, let go all the details and just stay with the sensation and follow the change. Bring attention to your body. Observe your posture. Just take a moment and think yourself. In this world, all living beings always suffering from the fear. And each and every living beings looking for happiness and satisfaction. So have an intention yourself to make a wish out of that all the living beings to be well and happy as they wish. With that condition, with that intention, we cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through your compound, your village, city, state, country, world, to this universe. And as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. So mentally repeat after me with the intention yourself. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. So visualize yourself and send it as a light as far as you can. To your backside, to your left side, to your right side, downward, and upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to our day-to-day life, that mainly in our mind we have ideas. So the ideas come out of thoughts, but the thoughts become ideas when you try to transform it to somebody, and when you start to bring the connection with others. So if you look very carefully what we observe through this vipassana level, it transforms to something. It's not disappearing. Inhalation and inviting to exhalation, exhalation invite to inhalation. And even the very feelings arise, that feelings invite to the sensation. That sensation invite to formations. That formations invite to consciousness. So like that, this all interconnected and interdepending. So this is a very basic knowledge that you have to understand. In day-to-day life, mostly, we have ideas, we have thoughts, separate from others, separate from situations. and we'd like to experience things separately. So that is what mainly we call personal. It is personal for me. Or the pain, it is personal for me. I have my personal life. This is my personal experience. So it is personal. So like that, we don't see the interconnection or interdepending from other things, and we put certain boundary line within us. And it come out of the self-centered mind. When you become centered with you, and according to that, you start to divide things and separate things. And the center become more stronger, stronger, stronger. What is happening? You become more comfortable with it. That comfort deeply not allow you to move away from it. And then when you become centered and when you build the comfort out of that center, and you become more safe. And then whenever you try to move out of the center, you feel fear. That fear deeply inherent inside us. So then remember now, as a mechanism, what you have to basically understand in conventional level, forget about meditation. In ordinary life for yourself, this analogy going to work very clearly. It's nothing to do with any religion or any dogma or any idea. This is the very nature of inside us. So when you experience with the self-centered mind, you start to separate things, and then you say this is personal, 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 personal. And then as a result of that, what is happening? You feel more comfort, and then out of that comfort, you don't see the fear arise. And then little by little, when the fear become grow inside you, that the fear start to attack to the self. It's the same like the cancer. From where the cancer come? Cancer arise in the body. Then later what is happening? The cancer start to kill the body. Fungus. You see some trees, they get fungus. And then what is happening? Little by little. So you need to have a tree to get the fungus. So once the tree have the little fungus, then it start to grow inside it. So the tree giving facilities to fungus. But what is happening little by little? The fungus start to kill the tree. The same thing happening within us ourselves. When you become personal with the experience, that personal experience in the beginning brings you the comfort and security. Because security comes because of as a shadow of the fear. Because when there is no fear, you don't need security. But we don't see the fear, we don't want to put a very fancy word, and we put security. And but if you look very carefully, when you have security, that's mean what? You have fear. So the security is a kind of like a result of the fear. So somehow when you develop the personal life, the fear arises. That's the very nature. And the fear start to attack yourself again, because that's the very nature of the fear. Once the fear start to attack to the self, that you feel lost. Wherever you go, you feel lonely. And sometimes you feel sad, unhappy. That fear always unrest you. And it make you disease. That easiness disappear. It disconnect. And that fear will bring anything to you. So then in the very basic level, what you have to do, if it is possible, as soon as possible, get out of the personal zone. Don't personalize in a physically, emotionally, socially. So try to get out of the comfort zone called personal. When you get out of that personal comfort zone, your mind becomes free itself from the fear. When the mind becomes free from fear, the awareness facilitate. The awareness arise. Because when there is no fear in the mind, the awareness going to grow inside that. So that will bring the clarity to yourself. That clarity will help you to understand in the basic level things as it is. Things as it is not going to help you to get out of the problem. To recognize things as it is, it will help in that very moment conventionally to have a comfortable life. But to get out of the problem, you have to get into the roots, the bottom line. You have to get into the depth. So that is what called yoniso manasikara. Yoniso manasikara means that the clear comprehension means sati sampajanya means you don't stuck on the surface level with other information. You go to the bottom level. Why we have to do that way? Because we experience things according to three ways. One is called sanjanati. Sanjanati means in the surface level with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So whatever the informations come. So with that information in ordinary level, conventional level, we experience the world. So that calls sanjanati. That is where all these emotions and all your thoughts, patterns, that everything play game. And that is where others, the behavior effect for us. And that is where we go with the outside nature in the sanjanati level. That means it's a kind of like a common sense. You follow the common sense. You are common with the sense with others. Whatever other people see, you also recognize it that way. So that is our ordinary life. But that life doesn't bring us the wisdom or the understanding. So you experience now. You say that whatever the other people did in their life, you followed that. Even your parent, whatever they did, you follow that. That doesn't mean you become happy. And that doesn't mean you following your whatever the other people doing in day-to-day life with this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And sometimes you get into more difficult situations following others. So that means just following this whatever that the happening around us doesn't mean it's going to take us to wisdom. So then there is another level of experience. As example, when you go into tranquility state, your body calm down, your breathing calm down, and whatever come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind as perceptions, it called abhijanati. Abhijanati means your thoughts not interfering to the moment of experience. That is where you see things as it is. And that is where you're going to recognize very clearly the surface level of whatever the experience. Abhijanati. So the first one, sanjanati. The second one, the sanjanati means the very common level of experience life. So the abhijanati means you become more aware and you see things beyond the layers. That means you go beyond the common sense. And when everybody say this is good, and maybe you recognize that is not good like that way, because there is something behind that all good. There is a catch. You recognize that. So it come out of deeper observation, and it to have this abhijanati recognition, you have to have an inner clarity, without getting disturbed from your own mind, from your own thoughts, from your own thinking pattern. When the mind become released from that, whatever come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, you're going to see it very clearly. So it like this. I will give a little analogy to understand this. When you look at the sky with your naked eye, just you see the stars. So it is kind of like a sanjanati. When you go out and look at the sky, you see the certain stars, and everybody see that. Abhijanati means you take a telescope and you start to see through this, and then there is another person just seeing the stars by naked eye, and now you use a little bit powerful telescope. So then you see more than other person. See, now it is different. Whatever they both see the sky, but what the experience going to be different. So in the ordinary person, like that, just in the naked level of experience, and when you develop the tranquility state called samadhi level, and then you come to abhijanati, that means you experience something little bit more deeply. And then when you go to vipassana level, it is not the sanjanati, it is not the abhijanati, it's called parijanati. Parijanati means you completely go to the bottom and experience something as it is and how it come to be as it is. So that is the different with the vipassana level. That is what the Buddha taught. Buddha didn't taught about this outside, or even the tranquility state of the samadhi level of what you can experience. No, to get into that parijanati, you have to go into the deeper and the bottom level of the experience. So getting to that, you have to have the very sharp and clear mind. It should work for the 100%. And you cannot use kind of like some other extra things to activate or get high yourself and experience. You cannot experience in the vipassana level. You cannot experience that using hashish, ganja, or you using kind of like marijuana. You cannot experience that vipassana level with that kind of face, because there are some people. And one student recently asked me about this regarding these things, how it works, because there are a lot of places, and they organizedly use this kind of, the things to make high yourself to experience something higher. But that is completely different. So this is completely different way. This is a vipassana level of experience. You pure consciousness you need. And that pure consciousness you need to get into that bottom level of clear understanding. So then, even with any music, you cannot do this. Remember that. Why? Because your consciousness work only that associate with one thing only one time, and it's not going to work two different ways. It work one time with one thing only one time, again and again it go with that. Otherwise it doesn't go to one thing and it has no power to multitask your consciousness. So then if you listening to music and doing the meditation, and if you maybe calm down, become enjoying your meditation, then where are your consciousness? Your consciousness going to be with the enjoying music. And then how you going to observe? You cannot get into the sensation. So that's why that also doesn't work for this. Maybe something else it works. So somehow, when it comes to this, that parijanati, what you experience. So you experience the sensation of your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Remember, your consciousness in the basic level, your consciousness doesn't have reached to something far away. As example, that you see this pen. So my consciousness cannot reach to this pen. So what is happening? Because of the light, so this need to come to my eye. And then my eye should work properly. And as a result of that, eye consciousness arises inside. So my consciousness has only limit to work with that consciousness, with my eye consciousness, not with this pen. But in day-to-day life, we always have idea. When you see something, when you hear something, when you smell something, when you taste something, when you feel something, when you think about something, you deeply feel kind of like a connection. We call it kind of connection. And you think you see it. But your consciousness not going to go there. Your consciousness has limit only with your eye inside this. As example, that I see this pen, and in between this, if somebody create that kind of like a strong darkness, the what I going to see going to different. So that's mean what that the pen I can see because of the light around this. So when the light disappear, I cannot see. So then what happened to my consciousness? My consciousness change. Why? Because my this pen and my eye cannot get into the clear understanding this. So my eye consciousness going to change according to that. And that eye consciousness has a relationship with my consciousness, and then it going to change. If my consciousness had the direct connecting with this, it doesn't matter whatever happens this outside, it always should keep the connection with it. So like that, always remember, you are very limited to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. That is what called 5 aggregates. That's why even the whole world going to be same like this. Your journey yourself, you are very limited to this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind with the form. Form means the feelings. Come to whatever eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So as a perception, whatever come, we call it form. And the form has the name and form. When the form arises, it has a name also. So when there is a form, that form bring the feeling. It is very personal to you. So that is where the boundary line build with the feelings. And it's not going to go with the outside world. So according to the feelings, sensation arise. And sensation, according to sensation, formations arise. And according to the formations, consciousness arise. So the consciousness has only limit to your eye, not beyond the eye. Your consciousness has limit to your ear, nose. This is where this everything go. That is why one time Buddha mentioned your world is this head to toes, this body. So change means you have to observe what is happening within this. And recognizing that change is the real change you understanding. But the thing is this is the mistake. When you become personal, so the personal come out of the feeling. And when you become with the feelings, and as I mentioned, when you develop the fear with the self-centered mind, in that fear attack you. And once it attack you, what is happening? You cannot see the change happening within yourself. You become more close with it. And then you have a mirage, illusion, and you experience the outside world. Of course, there is outside world. But what you experience is, it is what is happening inside you. So that is the dependent origination. Nothing, not about this outside world. And how according to your awareness, and then when the consciousness have the connecting with the feelings, this interconnected. In between this, it's like a twisting each other, the feeling and consciousness. Consciousness need the feeling, feeling need the consciousness. So interdepending. And that is the happening within us, we call the samsara. So then yourself, what you have to do in day-to-day life, don't personalize. That is the very first thing that you have to. Why? Because that is what makes you blind. Don't personalize. Try it, you will see. It is that this nothing. This is the very nature. It's belong to everybody. Don't personalize. Any pain, any difficulty, any hardship, don't personalize. Just be open. Right away you will see. You release it. Even whatever the experience you have, don't personalize. Don't go with it. Don't go with it. Release it. And because we learn from the history to personalize, my, we make it bigger. My thoughts, my feelings, it brings the my body, and then my family, and my village, my country, and my world, my universe. So like that we have divisions. So that divisions never going to take us to freedom. It doesn't matter how big your country or how big your world, still you have the fear. That's why when you have your country, the very next thing what you do, you build a more strong security line. So then the army become bigger. Why? Because my country is strong. So see, when you become bigger, you don't see invisibly the fear going to become bigger. So get out of it. Because it is an illusion. It is just till you birth to death. And this all this outside everything in that nourish us. And there is nothing called me. When you go deeper, even there is no any single thought. This is just the process. Go. Conventionally, we go with, we recognize, we respect, we appreciate this all, and we take care. This is a gift for ourselves. But that doesn't mean blindly you no need to hold it. You take care and you do the good things to yourself and you do the good things to others without doing any harm to anybody. And that way, when it comes to the Eightfold Path, this all the right things, you follow the right things. It is not what I want or what you want. And we both come to the middle. Let's do the whatever the right thing. So without personalizing, when in a family, when a situation comes, it is not what I want to do, it is not what you want to do. Let's come and let's do whatever the right. And then you're going to get into the solution. So like that, this is a gift. We're not going to disturb to anybody. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we're going to build up a huge security around this and going to take care and protect this and hold it to this and with the attachment. So This understanding will help us to release little by little. It takes time, but still remember yourself every day, give little time. And whatever you do things and don't personalize. In the, whatever you lose, whatever you gain, even whatever you hear, and don't personalize. That's way you slowly see how you can come out of it. And with that, I'm going to tell you a story regarding this gift of life. In Japan, there was a very famous samurai. It's called Wu Tang. So the Wu Tang was a very, very strong samurai. He was so powerful. You cannot imagine how powerful he was. And by hearing the sound, he can target where the enemy. He don't even want to look. He never miss his target in his life. And no even anybody escape from with the Wu Tang targeted. No, if he think, no anybody escape from him. That much he was skillful. So imagine what a gift. And Wu Tang had only one son. So Wu Tang want to give all the skill to him, to his son. No one else to give. So Wu Tang, after the war, and then he came home, and then he used to go to hunting with his son. Now hunting animals and killing animals, he trying to show how to get the target and how to use the skills. And Wu Tang always, next to his house, there was a huge mountain area. And then he always go to mountain. He don't go to mountain to see the beauty. He just go to kill the animals. And to enjoy himself. And just practicing his own skills, killing animals. So one day, with his son, Wu Tang went to jungle. And now he taught a lot of things to his child. And he thought, this is the day. Okay, son, you go to the south, I will go to the north. And see what you can hunt. And then by this time, let's come back and we will meet at the same point. And they agreed, and that's the first day. After teaching everything to his son, he leave his son and let go yourself. So that's what all the parents does. And then the Wu Tang went to other side and looking for a target. And he was waiting in one place, and he saw there was a little deer and with the mother, and little far away was, so Wu Tang saw that the little deer, and what he did, he took the arrow, put it to the bow and pull it, even without thinking twice, even without looking at that, he shoot the arrow. So this little baby deer got hit and died. The mother was so sad, and without leaving this little baby and going around and smelling the body. The Wu Tang thought, oh, not only one target, not only one, why not? Let's go for the mother also. And he took the arrow and then start to pull, and then, but still he couldn't get the target very clearly, little bit. He was waiting to get the right target. He know he's not going to miss it. And at the same time, he saw there was a bush behind the deer, mother deer, and that bush also little bit moving, and then little bit far away another bush, and that also little bit more. Oh, the Wutang got, okay, good, there are more deers. So today is the day I'm going to get all. So then the mother was very clear, and it is visible, and then the sound come from the bush. There's always this, sometimes people have, when they are more sure with their skills, and they try to challenge themselves. So then what he did, even though he saw the mother, this deer, because it is visible, even just only a little bit to get it to the target, and he was thinking to go to the bush. What he did, he took the arrow and pulled the bow and shoot. It went to the bush and hit the target. And then there was somebody suddenly start to scream. And the Wu-Tang understood it is not a deer. It is somebody. It is human sound. He ran to the place. What he saw, his own son got hit by his own arrow. He never missed a target. And he lost his son. So the mother was little bit far away and look at the Wu-Tang. And that day Wu-Tang heard. It's kind of like that dear mother telling to Wu-Tang, now you know the pain of the parents. And when your child hit from the arrow, how hard it is to bear. And the mother ran away. And the Wu-Tang was so sad and looking at his own son, and in his own hand by his own arrow, and he killed. He built the son to give all the wisdom, but still now he see that everything lost in front of his own eyes, in his own hand, by his own arrow. And by the time he heard another, because he saw two bushes moving that time, he saw another bush moving, and right away behind him there was a tiger, and jumped and died. This is a true story in the samurai history. And it says, whatever the record, and after this record it says, whatever the gift that you have, use as a gift. So you are itself, your skills itself is a gift. Never ever use it to harm anybody in any condition. Never use your skills to make difficult, put people into hard time, put the difficult people into the problems or the pain. The dharma is, it's always going to come back to you. There's no way. No one going to interfere in the middle. So that's why use your life as a gift and do the good things around you. Never try to do any harm to anybody using your even one single thought. Why? Because this life is so precious. This life is a gift. Use it as a gift. Keep that purity, keep that beauty, keep that bliss with you. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patient courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi diga yuko bhava. Ittavata ca me sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahangotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.
Thank you, Bhante.